Okay, so we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another season here at the Perfect Cup. We're live for the first time here at the publishing house in Tamiya, Cebu. So, after weeks and weeks of, well, we've been having teetering problems, but I think we're slowly managing. We're finally back with another season here at the Perfect Cup. So, as you can see, we've adjusted the time a little bit. So, from 6 a.m., we're now trying to have these morning shows at 7 a.m. Okay, so, well, without further ado, let me introduce my co host because this is like a very special episode. If you can see here in our description box, you can see who's our guest, and he's a very, very special guest. So I need a very, very special co host as well because I don't think I can handle this by myself. Okay, so let me just call on Renato Tranquilino. Hi, man.
Oh, hey, yes. Thank you once again for having me awake in such ungodly hours for a writer. But look, it's a lovely day, and I'm sure it's a lovely day also in my background there in Sydney. But I'm actually in Manila. That's the Queen Elizabeth building. And good morning to you, my dear Cindy, my publisher, and my host. Like, how are you?
Well, life's been tough. But I kind of have a guess that starting July, it will all become a little bit better because, well, that's according to according to the stars. If you've been following
Yeah.
zodiacs and astrology, well, they said July will be better. Maybe it has something to do with I don't know, with alignment. But anyway, what we're
Oh,
going to
yeah, yeah.
talk
Just
about
like that,
today.
planetary
Yeah.
alignment thing that you're talking about, the one that they're supposed to be in like a row or something. All the planets in a
Oh,
row. That's supposed to
it
give
might
you
have something to do with it. It might have something to do with it,
okay.
to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
but well, it's just kind of like a reading that we got that July will be a little bit better. But I don't know if
Mhm.
that's related
By
to
the way,
sci-fi or what we're going to talk about today.
I already know that July is going to be fantastic for me because in a week's time,
Hmm.
part two of Stranger Things comes on. So
Yay!
that's
Yay!
what I'm excited about. That's what allows me to get up early in the morning like this and actually do these kinds of interviews. So yes, I'm a big fan, of course, and I
I'm,
of course I was so lucky to have Dan come on the show and like talk to us about like Stranger
okay,
Things
I'm bringing up Dan.
like, like, yay! There he is, the man of the
Absolutely.
hour. How's it going,
I don't know
mate?
how we
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
I don't know how you managed to bring Dan on the show, Renato, but thank you very, very much. And thank you, Dan, for gracing the show. I mean, this is a great opportunity for us here at the publishing house. And I'm sure your Filipino fans will be very, very happy to hear from you. And well, if you guys have some questions, please feel free to comment down below so Dan can answer them live here on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start with a little something about where are you, Dan, right now?
Right now, where I am? Well, right now, I actually happen to be in Mexico. I'm in Mexico City, just
Mhm.
having a little vacation.
Okay, and do you have some tapings or auditions?
I did have an audition while I was here. Yeah, I mean, the good thing
Mhm.
about everything being on video now, self submissions, it's you can just do it from anywhere.
Mhm. Whoa.
That's what I did while I was here.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
Well,
that's now is that so
What's that?
common now that you just is that so common now that you just submit auditions now just like you
I
know
have not had a
like one
live
week.
audition since before COVID.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that's
it's
cool.
really. I have a feeling. I feel like now's the perfect time, or at least these last few years, to perfect the self tape. There's so many ways to go about it. And I feel like I've just gotten so comfortable that once we start doing live auditions, I'm going to start choking left and right. So we'll see how that goes.
I cannot imagine, but I mean, it's a good transition, right, Renato? Because pretty much everything's been well digital, and I can imagine that's the transition the movie industry is going into, like going for well, you can just simply send a video from wherever to audition.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to grapple with that because I've been, with my experience with auditioning actors and stuff in New York. It's always been live. It's you have to talk to them, blah blah blah, and then videotape them. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a new thing, like coming from that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it better this way. You can control what you want to be sent. You can do all these different takes and just send the best ones. So
Mm-hmm.
I like it better like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You
that's
can make as
me.
many much mistakes as you can.
Exactly. I mean, all the parts that I've been booking, it's all been self tape. I have not gone in live.
Wow.
Mm.
So,
Ooh, that's cool.
yeah.
Well, how are you feeling about the coming season of Stranger Things, and how do you feel about being in it? We can't
Yeah.
wait.
No, that's a whole other story. But yeah, I'm excited because it's about time. I mean, we've all been waiting years for this, and unfortunately, they couldn't finish the last two episodes on time. But listen, it's a heavy season, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this one wraps up. I think I have my theories. Unfortunately, it doesn't involve the character I played. I'm just going to assume that he was killed by a Demogorgon or will be. I have no idea what's going on. But
Spoiler alert!
yeah, no.
Spoiler.
Oh my God, is that allowed? Is that even allowed?
I mean, hey, well, I'm speculating with everyone else right now, so we'll see.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is probably, I mean, as we talk about this, Dan, I think this is probably a worst kept secret, I think, in the industry, that you were a part of Stranger Things. You had to shut me up at one point, and
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was, I
Well,
was ready to interview you probably like July, August or something of last year, right? And you said, nah, nah, dude, we can't talk about that. Nah, nah, gotta wait.
exactly.
But I'm really, really excited. I was telling all my family about you, and like even telling my son now. It's like, Tito Dan. It's like it's Stranger Things, man. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, I can't show you the things. It's too gross. So I'm telling him dragon stories, like violent ones, to get him kind of
Mm-hmm.
used to it. So, but he's only 1.5, so he'll get used to it, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I played a Russian guard in episode 6. Sadly, they cut my lines. I think because the way that they flow things. But I did
Mm-hmm.
originally have some lines there in Russian. And but yeah, I think I totally. I always said it's for two reasons that they cut my lines. It could either be for two reasons. The first one is for the flow, because of the way that they cut it. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would have made sense, because I watched it a few times and I said, yeah, I see why they cut it. Or it's because the take that they used, that was the one where I decided to improv some real Russian curses. and
Oh
and
gosh.
they were, and like when they yelled
Do,
cut, like it was the other actor, the actor that played the guard who speaks Russian,
mm-hmm.
is Australian, and Nikolai, and he as soon as they stopped, he said, "Dude, don't say that. Don't be saying that." And I said, "But exactly how Russians talk." He goes, "I know, but
Mm-hmm.
Netflix show, whatever." I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it's because of the format. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, do you still remember those lines? I mean, if you
Yeah.
can
Yeah. It was
perform
basically,
or say it
yeah.
here.
I'm running and I'm rushing after the actor from Game of Thrones. And I'm so bad with names. I should, he was a very nice guy, Tom, and yeah, and just basically after I'm grabbing him, I'm yelling at him in Russian to stop, stop and don't move, and all this stuff. It was in the script, and I did just that. But there was
How
just
do you
one
say
thing:
it in Russian?
stoy, just stoy, you know. Um, and yeah, and but it was funny because so I had a stunt double that scene,
Mm-hmm.
and but they barely had use for him because I was like, I want to do that. That's not a big deal. I'll do that. I have no problem. Grabbing him, just walk me through it. Well, I have no problem. So basically, the only time they used my stunt double was when the camera was not in my face, and
Right.
um, and yeah, and there was just a time where while my stunt double was working, and so was the character who played the actor who played Hopper, um,
Yeah.
David Harbour. We were just
Yeah.
standing
Yeah.
next to each other, just watching our stunt doubles, beat the crap out of each other. And I just stood there and I looked at him and I said, "Man, Hopper really gets effed up, quite a few times this season, huh?" And he just looks down at me. He's a tall guy. He just looks down and he's like, "Dude, they torture me like 6 times." And I'm like, 6 times? And then he had this face like, I shouldn't have said that. But I was like, okay, okay, very cool, very cool. It was an awesome experience just to be there on set. And this was all on a sound stage, at least those parts when you see the main prison. It's in the soundstage in Atlanta at the Screen Gem Studio and just basically, yeah, it was right next to our set was the Creel House.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole house that you see, like I just snuck when they were using my stunt. I guess I could say it now, but when they were using my stunt guy, I snuck off into the Creel house and just started looking around. And I'm like, this is
Oh dear.
amazing. I didn't take any pictures because I was afraid if they catch me, it'd be better that they catch me just
Yeah.
being there instead of just recording,
Mm-hmm.
taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool because I didn't know what the house was. I didn't really know what the season was about. Everyone was in the
Mm-hmm.
dark. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember this clock. This clock looks important, or this and that.
Yeah.
And then I saw the season, and I think this is the best season so far. And it's not because I'm just in one episode. It's a pretty incredible, incredible season.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to well, because the publishing house and Eight Letters. We're also live at Eight Letters Bookstore and Publishing. Well, we were doing our Pinoy sci-fi, like Philippine sci-fi genre. Cause and I want to know, do you like science fiction, like
Oh yeah,
in general?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
my favorite. It's definitely my favorite. Science fiction and horror fantasy and all of that. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Since I was a kid.
Mm. Okay, so well, knowing that you have always liked to be in you've always loved science fiction movies, whether it's movies or books. So, how does it feel being in a sci-fi film?
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm just happy that they picked me. I mean, the whole
Mm-hmm.
process was a year, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from like the beginning when I first got the audition, it was for a completely different character, and that's another thing that was interesting. While I've been watching this season, I got to see all the characters that I auditioned for. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's just like hearing the lines. I'm like, oh, like that. But it's funny because the people that they chose, they were all much older men, much older. Like
Mm.
they look more Russian, Russian faces. So I totally get why, because some parts I'm watching and it's like I delivered it very similarly. They could have picked me, but then I see who they chose, and I'm like, they're probably more believable just because they look older and more
Mm-hmm.
Russian, as they say.
But they
But
chose
My
you
wife,
anyway. They
but they
chose you.
my
yeah.
wife, sorry,
What's
my
that?
wife couldn't believe it was you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I made sure you would see
the,
me.
when I showed her the clip of you, she goes, "Shit, is that Dan? Is that?" I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's him."
Uh,
Because
yeah.
she's from New York. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So I don't think
It's
she's
like,
awake yet,
it's like,
but like,
yes, I am in Russia. I am in Russia right now.
very nice, very
Um,
So,
nice.
so how much Russian are you? I mean, um, are you from Russia, originally from Russia,
well,
or?
my parents are from Russia. I was born
Mhm.
in the U.S. I was born in
Mhm.
Brooklyn. My parents are both from St. Petersburg. and Russian was just
Mm,
my first language. You know, that was the language we spoke around the house growing up, and I believe I didn't even learn English until I went to kindergarten, preschool.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Right. Okay, so how about like do you have any future projects coming up that you want to tell our audience about? Or is that still a
Well,
top secret or
I mean, I think I can talk a little bit about it. I just can't really give too much away. The most recent project I worked on happened to be a movie called The Burial, with it stars Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones, and I had a small part. I have a scene with Jamie Foxx, and
Congrats.
so thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that. Hopefully, they'll keep my lines in this time. But I totally think that they will. But yeah, there's nothing like working with an Academy Award winner to keep you on your toes,
Mhm.
especially
Yep.
one who likes to improv everything. Because as soon as they called action, I
Oh,
was waiting to say my lines, and he just started going off script, and I'm like, I'll play. Okay, I'll play. Yeah, and uh,
Mhm.
and therefore I have much more lines now. So I have to thank
nice.
Jamie. So we'll see how that comes
I
out.
did.
Hopefully, they use the whole thing.
I didn't know that he was such an improv guy. So that's pretty good actually.
You can
Mhm.
learn a lot just by watching him. He's an incredible actor and such a ball of energy. You know, just on
Mhm.
set from the beginning. Like if it's really late at night, which it was, at one point, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, he's off in the hallway yelling and singing and keeping everybody alive and tremendous, tremendous energy that guy brings to. I'm assuming every set he goes on.
Do you have any favorite like what would be your favorite role that you've done? I mean, from all of your scenes or like past scenes, do you happen to have a favorite?
A favorite. It's hard to have a favorite because just every experience is a fun one. It's
Mm-hmm.
everything's challenging and um, there's this there's this one movie I did. It was a short independent film years
Mm-hmm.
ago. It was called The Archivist, and I think that might have been one of my favorites. Just the way that it was written. You have no idea what's going on in this world. As far as there's this bandit that's stealing memories. Okay, I'm getting ahead of it. In this movie, think that the entire world is on film. Like everything that you see is being recorded on film. And what was amazing was that the writer and director actually shot this on film just because it just this concept. And and there's this old man, the archivist, and his job is to archive people's memories, and he's archiving his own. And there's this bandit. I played the bandit, and he comes and he's stealing his memories. And literally by the end of the movie, they both fighting. They're fighting over his memories, and just at the end, you just realize that the whole thing was an allegory for Alzheimer's. I just thought that it was brilliantly done, and so that was definitely a cool role to play. But I think out of the most recent roles, I would say probably my Stranger Things role has been the most fun. Because I had a stunt double and I got to travel and
Mm-hmm.
just get to be on like this really hot set and meet actors and sit with them and chat with them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't
So
imagine.
other than David, yeah, other than David Harbour, who else to meet as
Well,
stars of?
I met Tom. I don't want to butcher his last name, but he played the
Yeah,
other Russian soldier,
yeah,
um, and I met Nikolai, who played the guard, because
right.
David had his own chair, of course, and but I got to sit next to them too. They just put me in their circle, so anytime when we weren't on camera, we were talking, and I didn't know I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I thought that it was funny that. When I met Tom, I really didn't know who he was, but I think that's what made things more comfortable to just talk about things, and we did. We talked about his love for New Orleans and how I live in New Orleans and the food, and hopefully he'll give me a call when he comes to visit New Orleans, and so I could take him to all the good food spots. But Yeah, it was just surreal. You know, I feel like every experience is just gets better and better.
Mhm.
Well, well, I mean, wish you the best, and I hope to see you in the Marvel universe and all that.
You
So
should be in the Marvel
it's
universe.
Yeah, yeah. Fingers
I
crossed. Fingers crossed. I've auditioned for a few Marvel commercials. You
Hmm.
know, like deep commercials with Anthony Mackie. You know, like being Captain America, and I auditioned as one of the thugs last year. But I'm still waiting for the call for
nice.
something. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh,
Cool. I'm sure it's my. Uh, well, I mean, glad. Dan, once again, I mean, thank you so much, mate, for gracing us with your presence and looking forward to the second part of Stranger Things. And I hope you'll be in future Stranger Things again
We
in
just
the future.
gotta bring a campaign up and say, you know, this Russian soldier number one needs to have his own Netflix
Yeah,
series. So we need to
oh
we need
yeah.
to start
there you
that campaign.
go.
We should okay. We should work
Definitely.
on that
Yeah,
campaign. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So Dan,
We'll
well,
start
since this is the yeah, we'll start campaigning for sure. So since this show is called the Perfect Cup, that's simply because well, each of us has our own definition of what the perfect cup is. Whether you want to drink coffee or tea. Well, I know Russians they do drink tea a lot, isn't it?
It's true. Yes, it is
Right?
tea.
Right?
It's tea. I'm
Right.
not much of a coffee drinker. Only when I'm really
Mm.
exhausted and really need that cup of coffee, it's fine. But usually caffeine
Mm.
just makes me too jittery. I do enjoy a really good tea.
Okay, so you like tea better than coffee?
Yeah,
So how do you like your tea usually? I mean, for the future. I mean,
let's see.
you're right. Just in
I
case you happen to come here and then we'll have to prepare that for you.
That
But
would be awesome. You don't need to do that. But I love tea with lemon, freshly squeezed
mm,
lemon, and some honey. You know, and it's Earl Grey tea. I guess that's my favorite, and I love just putting in
Yeah.
a lot of lemon. I don't really,
mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think I'm gonna have one after this. It's now I'm craving it.
We've got a honey lemon. We've got a cup of honey lemon tea here at the publishing house, just so for your
There you
information.
go.
Okay.
But okay, but well,
You can call
how
it
do so?
iced tea.
Is that how we should define your perfect cup, Dan? Is that a cup of hot or cold
Yeah, I
honey
think
lemon tea?
it's got to be a hot cup
Mm-hmm.
of honey lemon tea. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that
Okay.
is my perfect cup.
Okay, so Dan
Well,
Sheynin, spasiba. Большое
Ah,
спасибо.
пожалуйста, пожалуйста.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
yeah,
for
there you
gracing our
go.
show.
Authentic experience.
Love it, man.
By the way, the perfect cup, the publishing house, very close to a very big film studios in Cebu. So if you
Mhm.
Mm.
ever fly in to any of your takes or touch up on if they fly you in, it's called Bigfoot Studios. The
Mm-mm.
the publishing house is not very far away from there. So it's apparently Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and all those guys. Like they sometimes get flown into Bigfoot Studios to touch up some of their lines and all that sort of stuff because they have a sound studio there. And so people in Cebu are very used to seeing movie stars, like Hollywood movie stars, like on a daily basis. So they it's
Mhm.
like you like the place. And
Uh-huh.
when you're there, like perfect cup in the publishing house, the perfect teacup for you will be waiting. So
All right, sounds good. I'll take you up
That's
on
for
that.
sure, Dan.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for gracing the show once again. And well, Renato, thank you for co-hosting with me. I don't think I would have done it
that's my
without you.
pleasure. That's all right.
Thank
It's
you.
all right. That's
Yeah,
yeah. Thanks, man.
anytime,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. So
Stay safe.
hope to see you again
Yeah.
next Monday. Next Monday, we're having another episode at the
Okay.
Perfect Cup. Yep. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much,
Yeah. What
everyone.
you said. See
Mhm.
ya, man.
Happy Monday. Bye.
Bye.